A terrifying entity from the beyond is on a deadly hunt. Don't miss out. The clairvoyants will uncover the secret of a horrifying ritual, but can they stop the murderous evil? This is Psychic Investigations, a project of real and astonishing stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate high-profile criminal cases and incredible paranormal phenomena. "26-year-old Yuri Alexeyev lived in Ukraine. He studied law, served in the army, started his own business, got married, and was raising a daughter, Zhanna. At only 24, his wife became a widow, and his 4-month-old daughter, an orphan. The young man's life ended abruptly. He went to bed one night, then suddenly woke up in the middle of the night and died from an unknown cause.
It's unbearably hard.
That fateful day, Yuri went to work in the morning. He sold leather jackets and sheepskin coats at one of Ukraine's largest wholesale markets. He returned home at around 6 in the evening. After dinner, he went for a walk with his wife, Lena, and daughter, Zhanna. Later, the parents put their daughter to bed and began planning how they would celebrate their first wedding anniversary, which was supposed to be the next month.
He said, "We'll get married in church. You'll buy a beautiful dress, and we'll take photos somewhere by the sea."
Around midnight, the young couple went to bed. But in the middle of the night, Yuri's family woke up to strange sounds.
We heard coughing, like someone was choking.
Yuri's mother ran to her son. The last thing she saw was him collapsing to the floor and losing consciousness.
He never woke up.
The young man's family doesn't believe this happened by chance. Both Yuri's parents and his wife are convinced that magical interference was involved.
Healthy young men don't just die like that. They don't. Especially someone who doesn't drink or smoke.
Yuri had been doing sports since he was a young boy, lived a healthy life, and never complained about his health.
Since he was 4 years old, he could dive to great depths. He would go hiking the mountains and ski.
He was healthy and strong.
After Yuri fainted, his family called an ambulance. While waiting for the medics, they performed artificial respiration themselves. However, even the medics' attempts to revive Yuri were unsuccessful.
I shouted, "Lena, Yuri is dying," and she stared at me, stupefied.
Half an hour later, the medics stopped the attempts to reanimate Yuri and began packing.
The doctor said, "That's it. I've done everything I could."
The medics pronounced him dead.
The results of the examination shocked the family.
It said, "Vomit in the lungs."
According to the forensic examination, no alcohol was found in Yuri Alexeyev's body, nor were there any poisons or other toxic substances.
But why did the young and healthy man die? His family and friends still can't explain his strange and sudden death.
One question. Why? What's the reason? There has to be a reason.
To find the answer to the mysterious death of her son, Lyudmila decided to seek help from British medium Anna Galiers.
I would like her to contact my son's spirit, so I can find out why he died so young.
The feeling is that the man was killed, but I don't see who did it. However, I see blood. Plenty of blood. And I also see some strange creature, a dragon, and it's incredibly large. The dragon I see seems to have swallowed the man. Could his death be connected to magic?
Together with Anna Galiers, Ukrainian clairvoyant Zhanna Shulakova will investigate this case.
I sense his soul being torn out of his body and pulled somewhere.
But what does all this mean?
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. Please come in. Come in.
I feel drawn to this sofa. Here, I feel powerful energy from the man.
He slept here that night.
Normally, Yuri shared the room with his wife and little daughter, but a week before his death, especially on the last night of his life, Zhanna, who was always calm and quiet, cried incessantly.
The baby never left her mom's breast and kept crying.
So Yuri, who needed to be at work by 6 in the morning, went to sleep in another room.
While examining Yuri's energy, I saw a terrifying image. Right before his death, a horrible, horrible dragon started chalking him. But what does this symbol mean? Yuri's daughter saw it too, which is why she cried so much that night.
Anna Galiers also saw the image of the dragon. But what do these visions mean?
I feel really unwell. Let's get out of here. I thought I was going to die. It's simply impossible to describe. Looking at his last moments, it feels like what happened had been programmed. Like something had been pulling him there.
Tell me, was Yuri's body twitching and twisting unnaturally?
This woman is a close acquaintance of the Alexeyev family. She spoke with the grieving parents right after Yuri's death, and they shared that their son indeed experienced something resembling an epileptic seizure.
His father picked him up so he wouldn't thrash around, held him close, and tried to revive him. He started shaking violently, so his father took him in his arms and held him tightly.
The family claims Yuri had never experienced anything like it before.
He had nothing like this before. No seizures, absolutely nothing.
Something pulled Yuri to the other side. But this deadly energy is unfamiliar to me. I'm having a vision. I see that Yuri's wife has been behaving strangely since his death. It's as if she's running away.
Exactly. When the doctors were still here, and he was still lying on the floor, she phoned her mom, took the baby, and left.
But what does this mean? Could Yuri's wife somehow be involved in his death?
We'll need to find his wife and talk to her.
As it turned out, after the tragedy, Yuri's parents and his wife hardly communicate. Lena moved back in with her mother, who lives a 10-minute walk away. The psychics hurry to talk to her as soon as possible.
That's her mother.
Please come in.
Hello. Why did you leave the house that night?
When Yuri died, I felt like I had no head, no arms, no legs. I left because Yuri was gone. I felt like nothing was holding me in that home anymore.
Do you communicate now?
Occasionally. Every time I ask her to bring Zhanna over. But they won't hear me.
It's simple. His mom wanted someone else for her son. Someone richer, prettier, smarter. She wouldn't actually have accepted any girl. She loved her son too much. And no girlfriend would have been good enough for her.
Tell me, why didn't you want your son to marry?
I asked him to wait a little more. Just a little. They needed to get to know each other better. But he wouldn't listen to me.
From the first day they met, he told his friends that she was his wife.
After their first date, Yuri and Lena were inseparable.
Why didn't your mom want to speak to us? Could she join us?
What can I say?
Did you quarrel?
Well, everyone quarrels sometimes.
It turned out that Lena's mother didn't like her son-in-law, just as Yuri's mother didn't like his wife. Lena's mother believed the man didn't earn enough to adequately support his family and didn't help with household chores either.
Both parents were selfish. Instead of being happy about their children's happiness and success, they projected what they couldn't achieve in their own lives, thereby shortening the time fate had given them to be happy together.
Yuri up in the heavens really wants all of you to be united. He wants you to be friends. He's pleading with you, please try to be one family. It seems to me that you often feel your husband's presence, as if he's hugging you around your shoulders.
I feel him, and I see him. At first, framed photos would fall. Toys would start moving on their own. Then he appeared in my dreams, daily after his death. He still talks to me in my dreams, just like he did when he was alive.
I was shown Yuri again, sometime before his death. Lena sensed the danger, but she couldn't correctly interpret her feelings and visions.
I had this feeling. I kept repeating, I feel like I'm going to die. He would laugh at me and say, "What are you talking about? We still have so much life ahead of us."
But something really bothered him. It seems he turned to some elderly woman, perhaps a sorceress, for help.
Yes, he did.
It turned out that the young family visited the woman a week before Yuri's death. At that time, 4-month-old Zhanna began sleeping poorly and crying intensely at night.
We took Zhanna to see her. She performed an egg ritual.
It feels like the woman used either an egg or fire. She moved it around the man, all the while saying something.
We went to her, and she said she needed to work with Yuri because he had a strong curse on him.
Could Yuri's death truly be the result of negative magical interference? As it turned out, after the first visit to the sorceress, Yuri went to see her 3 more times.
Did he go alone?
Yes. He said she forbade him from talking about it. But on the day he died, he'd also seen her. He went at 3 p.m. and came back home at 5. When he returned, he said, "The egg burst while she was rolling it over me." And she said, "I'd feel really bad."
Was he supposed to feel really bad that evening?
Yes. I said, "Yuri, should I get something from the pharmacy?" But he told me not to worry and promised to tell me more later.
But Yuri never had the chance to tell his wife more. He passed away later that night.
The woman sensed that Yuri was under an overwhelming mortal danger, but she couldn't correctly decipher what type of magical influence was involved or avert the danger.
This is horrifying, but what unknown force destroyed the young man?
I keep hearing something like the sound of church bells. It feels like a wedding. This situation was meant to change something. Yuri wanting to have a proper engagement at a church wasn't a coincidence. Somewhere deep down, he felt that the ritual could remove or delay the impending danger.
But what does this mean? How could the engagement ceremony have saved Yuri? And why him?
It's very strange, but I must say this. I definitely sense traces of magical influence. However, the person who did this is already dead. I don't understand how this is possible.
You can't perform a ritual when you're dead. That's impossible.
I understand it. It's strange to me as well, but I sense that some female spirit was bound to him. The ritual that killed Yuri was very unusual. It's unlike anything I know or have ever heard or seen. I think it might somehow be connected to his work. We need to go to the place where he worked.
Lena's mother stays with her granddaughter. Meanwhile, Yuri's mother and wife follow the psychics to one of Ukraine's largest markets, where Yuri worked.
The market is closed.
Today is Friday, the market's day off. Entry is strictly prohibited. The psychics will have to work remotely.
Zhanna and I saw the image of a young woman before us. She had unusual Asian features, but at that moment, we didn't understand who she was. Had Yuri traveled abroad before his death?
He visited China. He was in Beijing.
Yuri flew to China twice. The first time was a month before his death. The second time, 2 weeks before. He traveled to buy goods, bringing back leather jackets and sheepskin coats. Could this be connected to his death?
Could this be related to China?
I sense a highly strange ritual. It's very ancient.
Yuri was in China. Look, the information comes in fragments. I see a store, but it's not really a store. It's more like a kiosk, and it smells of tea. The tea is a mixture of many kinds, like little pellets,
He was there for 10 days. There were a lot of things, a lot of photos.
He really liked it.
Did he tell you about anyone he met there? Specifically, any locals?
I have photos of everyone he met. Taxi drivers, his partners he bought the goods from, the shops he visited, the photos from the factory. And he brought tea. It was compressed and it would bloom into flowers. Lots of different kinds of tea.
But what does tea have to do with this? Could the cause of his death really be Chinese tea? How is that even possible?
Before you buy tea, they always let you taste it. Then you choose which tea you want.
Who did he buy the tea from?
I don't know.
The family says all they know is that Yuri bought the tea from a young woman.
The tea and the woman are troubling me. The information coming through is rather strange. What do I see? I see Yuri and the young woman separately. They aren't connected. They had no relationship. They were complete strangers. But every time I see him, I also see the phantom of the woman.
I saw that after Yuri left China, the woman who had given him to taste the tea was eagerly awaiting another meeting. But she and that person were never destined to meet again.
I don't see the woman alive either. I see something like a winding road, and she's on a bus.
She had an accident. I see a lot of blood. She was taken to a hospital, but she soon died there.
Could this image be the one the clairvoyant saw at the beginning of the investigation?
I see blood. A lot of blood.
What the clairvoyants describe could indeed have happened. However, there is no way to confirm or refute this information. No one except Yuri had seen or known the woman. As such, her fate remains unknown.
Look, I see two events happening simultaneously. That means their timelines intersect tightly.
But how are the deaths of the Chinese woman and the Ukrainian man connected?
I see pre-death convulsions, family members, a hospital room, and then a celebration of sorts. Like a ritual over the deceased or something like that. It's as if people are celebrating something for the dead.
It's a ritual where two souls are united in the heavens. It's like a marriage, but not in our world. It's a marriage for the dead. I've never seen anything like this before.
To verify the clairvoyant's insights, we consulted the Ukrainian Association for Chinese Traditions and Culture. And they told us something that's truly chilling.
In recent years, China has started reviving an ancient tradition known as ghost weddings. If someone didn't find their soulmate in life, their relatives search for a deceased spouse for them among the dead and marry their souls. They then celebrate it as a real wedding. Some people even exploit this tradition. Wealthy relatives even buy the remains of a desirable deceased person and bury them next to their dead relative.
But why did Yuri die? After all, when the Chinese woman died, he was still alive.
When this woman was in the hospital and dying, in her delirium, she uttered his name. Her parents interpreted this as her saying the name of a deceased lover and decided to fulfill her last wish.
I understand that her relatives performed this ritual to release or improve the condition of her soul, essentially binding Yuri to her for some reason.
I get it. The phantom we've been seeing all along is the young woman who died in China. She took Yuri's soul to the other side. By performing this ritual, her relatives bound Yuri, who is still alive, to the spirit of their dead relative. Almost all Chinese rituals involve a dragon. That's the one I saw at the beginning of the investigation. And it's the one that swallowed this Ukrainian man.
Yuri tried from the other side to let his relatives know about himself and show what really happened to him. But they couldn't correctly interpret or understand these signs.
I think you had a dream related to China.
I had a dream where he took me to China, introduced me to the taxi drivers he rode with, showed me where he lived, and where he got the goods.
After Yuri's death, Lena packed all his belongings into a single wardrobe. However, 6 months later, the travel guide he brought back from China mysteriously ended up in her coat pocket.
I found Chinese business cards and guides in my pocket. They included everything he wrote down, how to get to the factory, everything he left for me.
Moreover, the day after Yuri's funeral, his family received a letter from the airline. Inside was a ticket to Beijing in Yuri's name. Everyone thought it was a bad joke. Later, they discovered that Yuri had flown business class to China. A merciless murderer from the beyond is taking the members of the same family to the other world, one by one. What skeletons are the poltergeist's victims hiding in their wardrobes? Anna Horyacheva from Ukraine contacted the psychics, asking for help. The woman frequently sees a ghost, and she's certain it's her father.
I go to sleep, and when I wake up, I see a ghost close by. It's so close that I can feel its breath. I'm so scared.
And every time after seeing the ghost, Anna finds herself in danger. First, right in the middle of the street, she fell into a manhole. After that, Anna was almost squeezed to death by a malfunctioning elevator door. And then she was electrocuted. And last week, a motorcycle hit Anna while she was crossing the road.
I was dragged along the asphalt and thrown under a car. The drivers of the passing cars stopped and called an ambulance.
Anna is sure it's not a coincidence. Her elder sister, Lyubov, also saw the ghost fairly regularly. And she's dead now. The woman, pregnant with twins, was beaten to death by a stranger in the street.
She was all bruised. He beat her everywhere. She was pregnant. It was extremely hard to see this.
The man didn't steal anything, and he immediately fled the scene. People heard Lyubov screaming and called an ambulance. The woman was taken to the emergency department, but her injuries were fatal. Lyubov didn't survive.
I was the last one to see her in the hospital before she died. I arrived there, but she barely heard me.
Anna was looking into the eyes of her dying sister, who was whispering terrible words.
You're next. It was awful.
But the weirdest thing is that Anna's father loved his children when he was alive. There were 6 of them in the big family, 2 sons and 4 daughters, to whom their father was a model of an ideal man.
He was perfect. He had a good, mild character.
Anna's mother died when the girl was 7. The father had to raise the 6 children alone.
Of course, we had difficult times. There were 6 of us, so we always had problems with the money. But we were never hungry.
The woman says that after her mother died, her father didn't give up and did the best he could. But the terrible loss eventually broke him. The man was diagnosed with cancer. He desperately fought the condition for many years until it finally took his life.
He had pains. When Lyubov and I last saw him in the hospital, it was the first time I'd ever seen him sobbing. It was the last time we saw our father.
But even in her nightmares, Anna couldn't have imagined that her loving father could become a murderous spirit who would be hunting his own children.
I couldn't even imagine it would ever be possible.
Anna is 30. Her greatest dream is to become a mother. And she wants to marry, so she's begging the psychics to help her.
The psychics are my last and only hope.
The project's psychics, Zhanna Shulakova and Olga Kalinova from the Czech Republic, took up the investigation. They immediately set out to see Anna.
When I tuned in to their father yesterday, the cards showed me something very strange. Unrequited love, then rape.
This is horrific. Could Anna's father rape anybody?
I had a strange dream. A young woman wearing a wreath of white flowers. She held out the wreath to me and said, "I can't kill anymore." She's here, and she says her name is Lyudmila. The woman showed me her grave. There were purple flowers on it, and I felt that she died in the last days of winter. Almost on her birthday.
We need to ask Anna. She might know her.
Anna is a cargo crane operator. She has just finished her shift, and the psychics meet her in the downtown.
Hello?
Hello?
I'm relieved to see you.
Could you hold it, please?
Anna, did you happen to know a deceased woman named Lyudmila? She died in later winter, almost on her birthday.
I have no idea who it could be.
It's weird. Then why did her spirit visit us?
Who could be pushing Anna into the other world? Is it her father? Or could it be the mysterious woman who Olga Kalinova saw in her dream?
Do you have a photo of your deceased sister?
I do.
I'd like to tune into her energy to know what kind of force took her away.
Yes, yes.
I see her next to you.
Immediately after they started talking, I felt the warmth spreading on my left arm and leg.
My feelings tell me that your sister indeed fell prey to some kind of spirit. But she claims your father didn't kill her. It wasn't him. Your father loved you a lot. He's like a guarding angel. He's protecting you. This is the only reason you're still alive.
If it's not her father, then who's to blame for Anna constantly being in danger? The energy of Anna's sister's spirit didn't let the psychics tune in and concentrate, so they went further away from the place where they communicated with the woman's spirit.
At that moment, the cards showed me another death. A young man, Anna's blood relative. He was taken away by the same otherworldly force. It must be your brother.
Yes, my elder brother. It came as a surprise for everyone. It happened before the new year. My sister called me and said our brother was dead.
This is horrendous. Another death in the family. It turned out Anna's brother Valerie had a heart attack. He was only 31.
I have a feeling that everyone in your family bears the death mark.
Could we see your other relatives now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Anna phones her sisters and brother. Soon afterward, they arrive to see the psychics.
Hello, my name is Olho.
Valentina.
Serhi.
Hold the cards in your hands, please. The moment I took the cards from Olha, I saw the same woman from my vision standing behind her. With her hand, she reached out to Olha's heart.
Ow, something's squeezing. Ouch.
Give her water. Let her sit down. Breathe. Breathe deeper. Breathe, breathe. Breathe. Take a breath. Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Yes.
The dead woman did it. This is her who is killing your family. She's going to take you all away, one by one. But most probably, the dead woman didn't want to kill those people. Some kind of magic spell made her a murderer. It was done by some woman. I hear her saying, "If I don't get what is mine, I'll destroy them. They're going to die like puppies." Who could wish something like this to you?
Our neighbor. Yes, she could curse us.
The cards showed me that the woman was allegedly trying to become these children's mother, but she failed for some reason, and she's borne a grudge ever since.
She had no children.
Did she want to adopt you?
Yes.
To see if the neighbor is really connected to the deaths in the family. I tuned into the past, to the moment when the children lost their mother. What I saw there horrified me. Your mother, her death was terrible.
Yes, she died, giving birth.
She delivered Serhi, and when the doctors left her, she bled to death.
But I don't understand why your neighbor wanted to take you away. You had the father.
He was disabled. He used to work at the factory and a pipe fell on his foot and injured him.
After his wife died, the man had to work several jobs to provide for his children. Once, he seriously injured his foot and ended up disabled. Social services became interested in the family right away. Fortunately, the grandmother took custody of the children.
Our grandma was a brilliant person. I'm so grateful to her that I can't.
The cards told me the same force that took 2 of her children killed your mother. And this happened because of the magic of the woman with whom your mother had a conflict. Did your mother have a conflict with your neighbor?
Yes, they conflicted a lot.
Where does that woman live?
Where we grew up.
Is it far from here?
It's 10 kilometers away.
10 minutes later, the psychics arrived there. Anna and her sisters and brother left the village long ago, and their grandmother, who they used to visit here, died a few years ago.
This is where she lives, and that is our house.
Hello.
Hello. We're helping this family.
I know these ladies. Such beauties they are. They grew up without their father and mother, but how beautiful they are. But I haven't seen Sir Hai for a long time. I barely recognize him. Well, you look at this handsome young man.
You're saying such good things about them, but they told us you cursed them and their mother and wished them all death.
I never cursed them. God forbid. You know how it is in a village? Maybe I did get angry one day, but it's really nothing.
My cards told me that the woman didn't practice magic, and her curse was ordinary swearing. Besides, she didn't mean evil to anybody in this family. You swore because you were deeply unhappy. You couldn't control yourself, looking at the happy woman, a mother of many children. I feel now that your greatest wish in life was to give birth to a child.
Of course it was. But God's will for me was to live without any children.
You're alone and you're also alone. Help them, please. And you help her, please, as neighbors.
Thank you, children. There wasn't a day when I didn't think of you. I thought of you every day.
It turned out she never meant evil to nobody. She's unhappy, but she's not evil.
She's here, the dead woman in the wreath. She's entered the yard.
The window pane cracked. I'm terrified.
I have goosebumps.
I looked around and recognized the yard. Zhanna. The dead woman turned this house into ruins. I saw it in my vision.
The dead woman won't stop until she deals with everyone in the family. The love that was attempted to be taken by force is the reason for that. I see an outraged, offended woman in this yard. She's arguing with your mother. She's shouting, "You must leave him."
Dad?
He's a bastard. He's a rapist.
A rapist?
We don't know this woman, but there was such a story.
Grandma told us.
There was a woman who asked Dad to give her a lift on his motorcycle. Dad had a Yurii with a sidecar. She asked him to give her a lift somewhere where it was too far to walk. Long story short, he did it, but she then claimed he'd raped her.
Did she tell your mother this?
Yes.
But your mother tells her to go away. She says, "You're lying, go away from here."
Wait, but the cards are telling me that your father was detained by the police because of the rape.
She complained to the police. They arrived and said he'd raped her and that they had a claim from the victim.
So they took Dad and put him in jail.
Wait. What if the woman who blamed their father put the death spell on the family and is killing all of its members?
It's quite possible. But who can tell us the truth about this woman?
Dad. Only Dad knew who she was.
We need to summon his spirit.
Where is he buried?
It's not far from here.
The father of the family and his wife and children are buried in the same cemetery. 15 minutes later, the psychics are there.
We summoned your father's spirit, but your mother is also here. She says she's happy to see you as adults. She loves you so much.
Mum, why didn't I see you in my dreams? Why won't you visit me?
Your mother says she didn't want to scare you, but she's always been around.
We miss you so much.
We miss your advice and your embrace.
I still remember her scent. I couldn't sleep. And if I did sleep, it was only pressing her gown to me. That was the only option possible. Mum, it was so hard for me.
My children, I wish I could embrace each of you. I wish I could embrace you, son, because you've never seen me in your life.
I love you too. For a moment, I felt motherly warmth, as if I was embracing my mom. I don't think you can ever feel something like this if you never saw your mother.
I've always been around. I lulled you in the cradle, and I was next to you when you were ill.
Anna recalls that after her little brother was brought from the hospital, his cradle rocked itself.
Grandma told me that she once woke up to someone singing a lullaby, and she said the cradle was rocking itself. Mom came to lull him, so he would sleep. I felt warmth in Mom's scent.
I feel like Mom is embracing me. Mom, visit us more often. It might be in a dream, but please come to talk to me.
And your father, he's standing and crying.
Wait, was your father's guilt proven in court?
No, he was released because of the lack of evidence.
This woman wanted to punish the man for his refusal to be with her. It's a revenge. The revenge caused by female jealousy.
She was head over heels in love with him, so she claimed it. So Mom would leave him because he allegedly raped someone.
I felt that the man simply talked to this woman cheerfully at some celebration. But she fell in love with him and decided to take him away from the family, whatever it took her.
She used lies and slander. But when it didn't work, the woman decided to use magic to get rid of her rivals.
She was looking for the hands that would kill the whole family, and she succeeded in it. It's the woman that you saw.
The dead woman in the wreath. She's standing behind you.
Hush, hush.
Water! Water! Water!
The woman in the wreath grabbed me by the hand. I'm all right. This woman who's killing, her grave is nearby. We need to find her real quick. Oh God, this is her, the dead woman in the wreath of white flowers. Her name is Lyudmila, the purple flowers and the date of her death. Late winter. She died almost on her birthday.
We don't know this woman.
We don't even know who she was.
You don't necessarily need to know her. She doesn't want to kill you. She was forced to do so by magic. The magic was done by the woman who loved your father.
I see tiny white flowers. It's a wedding wreath.
Mom wore a similar white wreath for her wedding.
The grandmother told her grandchildren that some woman from their village asked their mother for her wedding wreath, claiming she wanted it for her own wedding.
And Mom gave her the wreath.
Your mom's rival asked the village woman to take the wreath from your mom, and then she buried it in the grave. The desperate marriage wrecker made this stranger's spirit a murderer.
And I can't take the wreath.
God, please do something.
We could only carry out the ritual to break the deal. Olga and I recited special prayers that break spells. Anna and her sisters and brother had to address the dead woman to ask her to leave them alone forever.
Lyudmila, please leave us alone. May your soul have peace. Please, I beg you, let us live normal lives.
Let go of us, please. I'm begging you from the bottom of my heart.
I feel that she'll leave you. She won't touch your family, but she'll go where the guilty person is.
The woman who made her do it?
It is her right to revenge. We can't stop her.
You are going to be all right.
Thank you so much. We are extremely grateful.
It is hard to believe what a terrible magic crime the passion for someone else's husband can force a woman to commit. However, having received no love, she wished for so much. The unlucky marriage wrecker will have to suffer the punishment she deserved. A love spell turned the family's life into hell. If only a woman in love knew that she would have to pay for love magic with children's lives. Today's story is about an eerie series of children's deaths in a family. It all started after two famous clairvoyants, Olena Kurilova and Rubina Tsibulska, were on their way out of a hotel in one of the western Ukrainian towns.
Alina, look. There's a dead girl over there. She's holding something in her hands. It's fire. She's saying something. Help me, help me. She was murdered, and her sister is going to be murdered soon, too. She says she won't let me go until I help her. Let me check it with my mirror. Oh my God. Oh, ooh.
It's terrifying. The clairvoyant almost fainted. What did she see in there?
Darkness. I follow a path. And then I hear a child crying. I turn towards the crying and see something like a cell or a dungeon in front of me. There are 3 girls inside. I understand I have to save them. A woman emerged in front of me. She said, "Don't touch them, they were sold to me."
I don't get it. Is it some kind of child slavery?
I don't know.
Rubina Tsibulska's temperature suddenly rose. She was taken to her room, where a doctor could examine her. Meanwhile, Olena Kurilova decided to work on the site where her colleague had seen the girl's spirit.
I see the girl. She's little and fair-haired. She's holding some kind of cup or bowl in her hands. And in it, there's something burning. A prayer. It's written in Arabic. I've seen Hayal use a similar bowl.
Olena Kurilova called the Azerbaijani clairvoyant.
It sounds like an ancient Muslim ritual that I personally use to summon spirits. However, a child can't carry out such a complicated ritual on their own.
I need your help.
Hayal Alekperov agreed immediately. On his way there, he decided to tune in to check on the dead girl and her death.
My jinns are telling me, don't be afraid of her who looks into the lake full of chimeras. She's innocent.
Back then, we couldn't even imagine what the psychic's vision meant, and how all this story would end.
Hello, Olena. How's Rubina?
The doctors gave her an injection and she's sleeping.
Show me where you saw the dead girl.
She was here, right at this place.
Her name is Ksenia. She says she will show me where I can find out about her murder.
The psychic went to the neighboring street, where he stopped in front of one of the apartment buildings.
The girl's spirit is pointing at the window of that apartment on the first floor.
Hello.
My name's Hyle.
Svetlana?
I see you're quite surprised.
Yes, I am surprised.
A girl's spirit brought us to your apartment. She's about 7 or 8. Her name is Ksenia. Do you know who it could be?
It's my daughter.
Did your daughter die? When did it happen?
2 months ago. She had problems with her heart.
I couldn't get it. If the girl's heart stopped, then why did she claim she'd been murdered and her sister was going to be murdered soon too?
Svetlana invited the psychics in her late daughter's room.
The book is telling me that your daughter died because of her big heart. What could it mean?
Her heart was enlarged and she needed transplantation. The left ventricle didn't work. Only the right one was working in her heart. It was so.
It turned out that the Ukrainian media even wrote a story about Ksenia's mysterious ailment. There, she was literally called the big-hearted girl, as the 7-year-old schoolgirl's heart suddenly grew 4 times within just a month.
Everyone was shocked and nobody could do anything. It was a terrible disease. Ksenia was a very energetic girl. She loved dancing and did acrobatics.
The book says that your daughter was supposed to get help in the land of elephants. What does this mean?
We were supposed to go to India to have the transplantation surgery there. When we only learned she needed the transplantation, she could still breathe herself. She was on a drip, but she still played and drew. Then we found a medical center in India. They sent us documents confirming they were ready to admit use.
The parents were informed that the price of the surgery would be $100,000. The entire Ukraine participated in the campaign to raise funds for the girl.
I calmed down a little. Everyone put up with the fact that she'd undergo the surgery. Everything was going pretty well. After she woke up that morning, she was waiting for her dad, who was supposed to bring her a cake.
I feel that your daughter was reanimated several times.
Yes. The doctor said her heart had stopped 4 times, but he'd still managed to get it going. But on the 5th try, he could do nothing. Half an hour later, her heart stopped beating. This is how it ended.
I have a feeling that the reason for Ksenia's death wasn't purely medical. Some kind of otherworldly force had been hunting her. And before she died, she saw and felt it.
Not long before Ksenia died, she indeed began seeing a strange silhouette in her room.
3 months before it happened, she began crying bitterly at nights. Once the clock struck 12, she started crying. She woke up and, crying, tried to run somewhere.
The girl ran into her mom's bedroom and was so horrified that she couldn't even explain who she'd seen.
It was terrible. I thought we'd go to the church to attend the communion service. I thought it could help her.
However, the mother didn't have a chance to take her daughter to the church. Ksenia was admitted to the hospital, so Svetlana decided to go to the church and place a candle for her daughter's health.
But the candles fell to the floor from the candle holder. I was terribly shocked.
Svetlana says it was then that she realized that some evil spirit wanted to take her daughter to the other world.
Your daughter has returned to save her sister, Ivanka. I feel something terrible has been happening to her recently.
Recently, Ivanka, who is a year older than Ksenia, has also begun seeing somebody's shadow in her room. After that happens, the girl starts suffocating.
After I take her to my bed, she feels better and can sleep.
Doctors can't explain the reason behind Ivanka's strange fits of suffocation, and her mother fears she can lose her second daughter too.
Ivanka is the only child I have left. We fear so much to even think of the possibility of losing her. It's terribly hard.
Especially given that, lately, the mother has had the recurring dream of burying Ivanka.
I was afraid to tell anybody of this dream because you can't even describe how awful it is. We don't know what to do and where to go.
Svetlana, your daughter's spirit is here. She's smiling. And there are dimples on her cheeks. She's holding your hand.
She says, I come to visit you at night and put my hand on your face.
When I wake up, I have a feeling that she's next to me.
After little Xenia died, she wishes to protect Ivanka from the murderous, otherworldly spirit.
The sisters shared the bedroom and attended the same school. They both did gymnastics and were inseparable. Their mother says it took her a while before she found the courage to tell Ivanka her sister was no more.
We didn't tell her. And only when I was back home after the funeral, Ivanka asked me, "Where's Ksenia?" I told her, "Do you know who angels are?" She said, "Yes, they live next to God in the heaven." And I told her, "Well, our Ksenia is also an angel now."
My jinns say the force that killed your daughter is related to a woman and a strange ritual she carried out.
At that moment, Rubina Tsibulska called the psychics and told them she knew the name of the woman who was hunting Svetlana's daughters.
Hello?
My mother's spirit visited me. She told me I had to look for a woman named Nina. She's dead. It's her who's hunting the children. And then Mom showed me the number, 25.
Who is Nina?
My mother.
Is your mother alive?
Yes.
Then who is Nina that died? Whose spirit is that?
I don't know.
Rubina's mother also showed her the number 25.
What was the date of Ksenia's death?
March 25th.
Svetlana, hold on. My jinns are telling me that the evil spirit visited you on that date.
It was also the day when my elder daughter, Nadia, drowned. 11 years ago, on March 25th, my girl drowned. She went to play with a boy and drowned in a pond.
Svetlana and her family lived in a house outside the town. There was a little pond on the house's grounds. It was where they found the body of 4-year-old Nadia.
My husband ran to pull her out. We tried to bring her back to life, but we didn't succeed.
Svetlana says that her little girl died within minutes, while she herself went inside to make sandwiches for the children.
Wait up. Ivanka almost drowned in that pond, too.
Yes, she fell in the water.
You saved Ivanka from death at the last moment.
I tried.
Was it like something dragged her in?
Yes.
What date was it?
March 25th.
Hayal, the 25th again?
It can't be. What kind of date is that? And why did Ivanka almost die, like both of her sisters, on March 25th?
I have a feeling that the grounds of the house you used to live in are literally soaked with necrotic energy.
In an hour, the psychics and Svetlana are in the village where the family used to live. Currently, the house stands empty. The pond has dried out and overgrown with grass. However, Svetlana still can't bear to look at this place.
This is the pond. In it, my eldest daughter drowned. It's so hard.
It's a great grief to lose 2 children.
I don't know what could take her here. She'd never approached it before. She didn't even know the path that led here.
A woman's spirit brought her here. First, she took Nadia's life, and then Xenia's. I see a dark-haired woman. She's shouting out something that sounds like a curse. She says, if the children come here, they'll die.
Look at this wind.
It's unbelievable. No sooner had the psychics said something about the woman Then the powerful wind rose. Could it be somehow related to the evil force that's been hunting the children?
Who is this woman?
She was our neighbor. We often had disagreements about the garden's boundary. She lived in this house.
Svetlana says the pond was on the boundary right between both estates, and the neighbor forbade anyone to approach it. She even threatened that otherwise their children would die.
We always fought over the boundary. She said, "Don't even approach here. It's my garden. That's it."
But after she died, you didn't abide. You used the pond and took water from it.
Yes.
I feel that your neighbor had magical abilities.
People feared her, claiming she was a witch.
The evil force lived in this pond. Your neighbor was the one who bound it to this place.
Some kind of negative energy was dumped in it.
And after that, Nadia died here, and Ivanka almost died.
Incredible. Is the dead neighbor the murderous woman who carried out the ritual and who the psychics have been looking for?
At that moment, I saw the neighbor standing in front of the pond, which was crawling with a huge number of spirits. She was holding a candle and whispering something. But it wasn't a spell, but a prayer. The woman was sealing the spirits in the water. What was the woman's name?
Hannah.
But we were supposed to find the dead woman named Nina. Could it be a mistake? Don't be afraid of her who looks into the lake full of chimeras. She's innocent. Does it mean she's not the murderer? But why was the pond full of evil spirits that got there because of her?
That she was said to help people.
I know that many people arrived to see her.
The woman dumped all the negative energy from sick children into the pond, while her words that nobody could approach the pond weren't curses. It was a warning. I feel that right before she died. This woman sealed the pond. This is why there's no trace left of it.
But I don't understand whose spirit has been murdering your daughters. And why would it do it? Olena, let's go inside, quick. Xenia's spirit is standing here. Little Nadia is with her, and Xenia's holding another girl in her hands. It's a little baby.
One little coffin. 2, 3. 3 coffins. Who's the third?
I had another daughter, Olia. She was 7 months old.
So you had another daughter who died?
Yes.
What a spine-chilling story. Being only 36, this poor woman has already buried 3 daughters.
The youngest girl, she was 7 months old, got ill too. She had a bad cough. It was so strong that she suffocated. She was diagnosed with pneumonia. We went to the hospital. We spent a month there, and she seemed to have recovered and was fine, so we were discharged and could go home.
However, once the woman returned home with her daughter, the girl died. Little Olya's heart stopped.
I don't even remember the day when we came back home. I can't recall a thing, as we were all deeply shocked.
But I have a feeling that the girl died on the other date.
Yes.
Little Olya died 3 months after Nadia's demise, on June 30th. The mother says she doesn't even remember how that year passed.
I don't know how that year passed. It was like the time stopped for me. It was hard.
Does it mean it's got nothing to do with the date? Was it an awful coincidence? Svetlana, your daughter's spirit says we must visit her grave. There, we'll see who murdered Xenia and her sisters.
15 minutes later, the psychics and Svetlana are at the graveyard. Rubina Tsibulska feels better now, so she's joined her colleagues.
At the girls' graves, I saw the woman that I'd felt at the beginning of the investigation. This woman saying that her name is Nina, and she's saying the phrase, "I took what belongs to me."
Ksenia's spirit is telling me that the woman was lonely and had no children while she was alive. And she and her sisters served as a recompense for the ritual that had been carried out on this woman's grave.
They were taken because of the magic of love. I see a young woman. She goes to a sorceress and says, "I love him. Make him be mine and nobody else's."
Svetlana, have you ever asked a sorceress to help you with your love life?
I haven't. I've never asked anybody to bring me love.
The sorceress says, "Go and don't worry, I will do it. I'll do it myself." Then she carried out the ritual at the graveyard. There are many ways to cast a love spell. One of such rituals is carried out at a graveyard. A sorceress uses it to ask a dead woman's spirit for love for her client.
When a love spell is put on a man to make him love a woman, the sorceress must find the grave of a woman with the same name as the woman who's ordered the ritual. Therefore, if the dead woman's spirit's name is Nina, then the client was also Nina.
The only Nina I know is my mother.
Svetlana, did your mother ask a sorceress for a love spell?
She indeed went to a sorceress once. That woman was a foreigner?
The sorceress promised Svetlana's mother love, but didn't warn her she would have to pay for it.
And now, the woman's spirit is taking what she lacked while she was alive. Children.
I don't believe it. I can't believe it.
Wait. I see a crescent on the sorceress' neck. The neighbor who helped your mother was a Muslim.
She could be a Muslim. She adhered to a different faith.
That sorceress carried out the same ritual for summoning spirits as I do, through fire.
Then I realized why Ksenia's spirit was holding a burning prayer in her hands.
I'm going to try to break up the contract, so at least Ivanka is well. Now your daughter's spirits are free. Ksenia says, "Mom, I have to go now."
Forgive me that I couldn't help you. Farewell, Ksenia. Thank you so much for your help. We'll hope we'll be all right.
How terrible it is. So many children's deaths in the same family, and the reason for all of them was magic. If only the poor woman's mother had known about the consequences of the magical rituals, these events could have probably been avoided. A shocking investigation. A young beauty predicted her own death and is now trying to warn her cousin of the impending doom from the other side. Don't miss out. Will the psychics be able to stop the murderous force? This is Alina Kobyzyuk. She is from Ukraine. Alina has just finished school and entered a military academy. She asked the psychics for help because she is convinced she will die soon, of which her deceased second cousin warned her in a dream.
I got very scared. I'm afraid to die.
This is the last photo where Alina is with her cousin, whose name was also Alina.
She was Alina, and I am Alina. We were even born in the same month. She was very dear to me.
Alina lives in constant fear because previously her deceased cousin had predicted her own death.
She felt her death.
After the terrible car crash in which Alina died, her grief-stricken mother found her daughter's diary. And what she read there made her blood run cold.
She saw her death. I opened my eyes. It's dark, quiet, and eerie. There's a coffin behind me. And who's in it? I smile. I didn't sleep at night. I died at night.
It's unbelievable, but Alina did die at night. The car, which had 2 passengers and a driver, crashed into a tree. Alina's friend was driving. The car was driving in the rightmost lane and suddenly hit a pothole. It veered into the adjacent lane. At that moment, another car crashed into it at full speed, and it was thrown onto the roadside. It hit the tree on the side where Alina was sitting, to the right of the driver.
Nobody else was injured. She was the only victim.
The terrible and bizarre death of the 19-year-old beauty, who was a brilliant medical student and a gentle daughter and sister, shocked everyone.
Alina was the soul of the company. She wrote poems, sang, and danced.
It's hard to recognize Alina's mother as the cheerful woman she used to be. What shocked her most was the fact that Alina had drawn how she would die in her diary. On almost every page, she drew a car and a tree.
And the tree eventually killed her. She knew she would die.
But the most horrifying thing is that now the deceased beauty is warning her younger second cousin about an imminent death. The girl still recalls with terror the first time she saw her ghost.
I just looked up and saw a grayish silhouette passing between the corridors.
And after that, the younger Alina almost died on the road. She and her father were riding bicycles. Suddenly, she felt something shove her and fell onto the roadway, where a car was speeding towards her. Her father pulled her out from under the car's wheels at the very last moment.
I'm afraid it can also happen to me. I really want the psychics to help me. I want it all to end, finally.
Yaroslava Fedorova and an Azerbaijani psychic, Kayal Alekperov, take on the investigation.
While working with Alina's photo, I felt that some otherworldly force was hunting her. I decided to ask my djinns, and they told me, behind the girl with the bracelet on her hand, you will find a dead child who knows about death. Ask about the twins and find the killing headscarf.
I see a dead woman over there. The dog sees her too. Her throat is cut. She says, "Save Alina."
From whom?
She vanished.
The next morning, the psychics meet with Alina.
Hello?
Hello? Erica, Alina's and her deceased cousin's friend, is also here to support her.
The threat to you comes from a dead woman. She's avenging some man.
But who is that woman?
Look for her who murdered her family.
I don't understand what it could mean.
Did anything like that ever happen in your family?
We didn't understand who that woman was, or why she'd taken one girl and was hunting the other. And most importantly, how could Alina predict her own death?
An otherworldly force showed her her death.
It was someone's spirit. It's connected with a book. In this book, I see a portrait of a girl with a pendant on her neck, and half of her head is missing.
It could be a drawing in her notebook. Alina drew herself without half of her face, and she had a pendant that we gave her for her birthday.
Alina was wearing the pendant on the night of her death.
I see Alina in a wrecked car. Blood. The right side of her head is gone.
Yes. The right side of her head was completely smashed.
I need to see the diary.
It's at her home.
The friends take the psychics to the place where the deceased Alina's mother lives. It's been less than 40 days since her daughter's death, and the woman still can't eat or sleep at night.
Hello. My name is Helena.
Alina was the only girl among the woman's 4 children. Her eldest son is 21, and he's married and lives separately. Her younger sons are 8 and 4, but Helena says that it was with her daughter that she had the strongest emotional connection.
I can't stop thinking that I didn't kiss and hug her enough.
The diary. Can I work with it?
Yes.
Could you please give me Alina's photo? Thank you. The girl's spirit was nowhere to be found. It was very strange, because until 40 days pass, souls stay near their relatives almost constantly.
If Alina's spirit isn't at home, could we find it at the cemetery? I tuned into that place, but I didn't feel her there either. The spirit only came there once, on the day of her funeral.
She was standing behind you during the funeral.
Yes, yes. And she was holding me by my shoulders.
Please, don't cry.
Alina heard her daughter's voice at the funeral.
Mom, don't cry, she said. And I told her, yes, baby, I won't cry. I would do anything to get my child, my baby daughter, back. My sunshine, my little girl, my soul.
My jinns told me that the answer should be sought in Alina's childhood. I see that you raised her for a long time alone. Did her father leave you?
Yes.
The woman's 2 younger sons are from her second husband, with whom she lives now. Alina and her older brother were born in the first marriage.
Why did your first husband leave you?
He said I was too much trouble.
The man was simply scared of the financial difficulties the family faced. Alina sold her apartment, and with that money, the family planned to buy a house. But the seller deceived them with the papers. As a result, the family was left without their apartment and money, and had nowhere to live. And in such difficult circumstances, the man found nothing better to do than just run away.
The fact that I was abandoned is nothing. I just felt sorry for the children.
I was flipping through the pages, and suddenly my hand felt like it was on fire.
Here's Alina sitting. She's fiddling with her bracelets. This is what your jinns told you.
Behind the girl with the bracelet on her hand, you will find a dead child who knows about death. Who's that?
It's her friend Christina. She died.
Alina was 11, and Christina was 12, and she died because of diabetes. The doctors failed to diagnose it in time.
It was the spirit of her friend that showed Alina how she would die. Christina started haunting Alina before her death.
She saw her recently, in the mirror.
Christina not only warned her friend about death, but also tried to show her the dead woman who posed the threat. And I also saw her, holding a black headscarf in her hands.
Quiet.
A curtain in the room stirred by itself.
The spirit of the young woman with the slashed throat stood by the window. She had already asked us to save the younger Alina at the beginning of the investigation.
Does this mean the psychics see 2 different women? The one Kayal Alekperov sees is holding a black headscarf, and Yaroslava Fedorova sees a completely different woman, the one with her throat cut.
Wait. She's beckoning me somewhere. Not only is her throat cut, but there's no spot on her body that is not injured.
Svetlana.
She was murdered last year. Her husband did it.
Just like the younger Alina, Svetlana was also Alina's niece. These are already 2 horrific deaths in the family.
Mommy.
It's incredible. The clairvoyant sensed Svetlana's mother among the crowd of people.
And Helena, please don't.
What a horror. 2 young women died in the family in less than a year. But is Svetlana's death connected to Alina's death and the danger to her cousin?
Your daughter died after she was stabbed twice.
He kept stabbing her when she was dead.
47 stabs when she was dead.
He mutilated her so badly that we buried her in a closed coffin.
Svetlana married her future murderer a year before the tragedy. The couple lived in harmony. It was a terrible shock to everyone when one fateful evening, Svetlana's husband brutally murdered her.
He did it out of jealousy, but she loved him very much and never even looked at other men. I see her lying dead, and he's lying next to her alive.
The police, called by the neighbors, found Svetlana's husband next to her dead body. The man confessed to committing the terrible crime. However, he could not logically explain why he murdered his wife and then mutilated her body.
The cards showed that Svetlana was doomed to die. Her fate was cut short, just like your daughter's.
Wait, my book seems to say that Svetlana was your daughter.
She was my goddaughter. She was the first child I baptized.
Yes, and this girl is also your goddaughter.
And Alina is my goddaughter too.
So, this is what connects the three young women. They are all Helena's daughters. One of them was her biological daughter, and two others are her goddaughters.
Before God and higher powers, a goddaughter is the same as a biological daughter. Helena's daughters are dying because of a dead woman with a black headscarf in her hands. We need to find Alina's spirit. She will tell us who this woman with the black scarf is. Could we find her spirit at the site of her death?
It's far. We need to drive there.
It's the first time Helena visits the site of her daughter's death.
God, this tree is huge. She drew it like this. My God, my baby girl.
But Alina's spirit isn't coming. She's not here, at the cemetery, or at home. She's somewhere nearby, at a spot that's important to her.
She liked going to the sea just to sit there.
I walked along the shore for over an hour, and at some point I heard crying. Dead Alina was sitting on the rocks, but she wasn't alone. I see your daughter. She's here, holding a baby.
It's a baby girl, and she's dead. Who is it?
I had a miscarriage. I had twins.
Helena's younger son is one of the twins. The other child died in the womb, horribly. It was a girl, another daughter.
Only girls die, while boys survive.
This looks like some kind of family curse. My book says that a man from the family is involved in this. Alina's spirit is now showing me a headscarf. Find the killing headscarf.
Kayal, what killing headscarf?
Your daughter says, "The woman who caused my death is avenging my father."
Why would she need him?
Your daughter is crying because of her father, because he didn't need her. Alina shared her pain with the sea.
Helena says that her ex-husband simply erased their daughter from his life, but the girl so wanted her father to at least occasionally show interest in her life.
She wanted him just to call and say a few words. You can't imagine how much she loved him.
What's the father's name?
Ole.
We need to talk to Alina's father. We rang the doorbell of Alina's father's apartment several times, but no one answered. When we left the building, we saw the light in his window go out. The man refused to even listen. We can't use Ole to connect with the dead woman with the black headscarf. The only option left is to summon her spirit.
The clairvoyants go to a quiet spot they find nearby to perform the ritual.
I see a woman's silhouette in the flames. She's about 30. She has dark hair. My jinns are telling me that she killed not only your daughters, but almost her entire family. This woman and her family became a sacrifice because she performed a ritual. And that ritual was for the death of Helena's daughters. All this because of a man who bleeds at night.
It turned out that Alina's father saw himself covered in blood in a dream just before his daughter's death. He told his ex-wife about it at their daughter's funeral.
He had a dream that blood was gushing from his vein like a fountain.
It was a sign that he would lose his blood, his child.
But who is this woman, and what did Alina's father do to her?
A family bound him and that woman. Was he married before you?
Yes.
And I feel that you also had a relationship with him even before his marriage to this woman.
Yes, we dated for 5 years. Then he went to serve in the army, and I waited for him. And he brought a new fiancée back from the army. He said she was pregnant. Well, I said, it's a serious business then. And I turned around and left, that's all.
The man told Helena that his children would never grow up without a father, and soon married Yulia.
But then they stopped living together.
Did he leave her for you?
Yes.
Helena tried to convince her husband to return to his pregnant wife and begged him not to leave her and their child. But he said he would not live with Yulia anyway. He only heard about his daughter from his mother, who occasionally visited her granddaughter.
This woman dreamed of getting her man back.
She tried to get him back through magic. I see a photo of your Ole, and it's being pierced with a knife.
My mother-in-law saw that photo.
Ole's mother found the spoiled photo at Yulia's house during one of her visits.
But Yulia failed to enchant the man. She tried to persuade him to return to her. She says, "Come back. I gave birth to your daughter." And he replies something like, "So what? Helena will give me a daughter too."
With the help of magic, she condemned Galina's daughters to death.
I see that Yulia died when she was young.
She was about 30 when she died.
And almost all of her family is gone because of that.
Later, Ole's mother revealed off-camera that Yulia's second husband, brother, and mother all died one after another.
But I saw a girl who stayed alive.
Her daughter lives.
Ole didn't take this child with him after her mother's death. And the girl was only 12 then. He didn't need her, just like he didn't need Alina. Yulia's spirit is holding a headscarf with an embroidered pattern of a hand and a flower.
A headscarf? Wait a minute.
Alina suddenly recalls that her mother-in-law saw something similar at Yulia's home.
Hands and a flower. She said she saw them embroidered.
I see this headscarf being buried in the ground.
Wait. There is one awful ritual. When you bury a headscarf with the name of a woman you want to take revenge on in a grave.
Yulia was taking revenge on you. She performed this ritual to bring death on your daughters. To neutralize its effect, I prayed for 2 hours. Alina, you're now safe. The spirit of your daughter is here, Helena.
Sister, we really miss you.
Baby, I love you so much. My sweet, good girl.
You can't build happiness on someone else's misfortune, as the saying goes. What an incredible story.